Hello and welcome to another video for Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we are looking at something that is now very, very old, very, very rare, and extremely, extremely difficult to find, especially in this very, very good, complete condition. We are looking at the 1960s release by Chad Valley from their series of television games. And this particular game we're looking at today is of Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land. Now, Torchy was a television program. It was called Torchy The Battery Boy. And it was a children's puppet television series. The second series that was produced by AP Films, which was obviously Gerry Anderson and Sylvia Anderson's company. And it first aired on the ITV network between 1959 and 1961. It was created and written by the author Roberta Leigh, music by Barry Gray, and so on. And the first season, or series 1, was actually directed by none other than the late, great Gerry Anderson. Now, there was a total of 2 series made with a total number of episodes of 52. And the budget for series 1 was £27,000. Not quite sure what the budget for series 2 was. And so it was originally aired from 1959 through to 1961. Quite a popular television program for the young back in the day. And it was, as I say, it was an early version of the puppet series that the Andersons produced prior to being dubbed as Super Marionation. Anyway, so this is the ball game in front of us, and it says another Chad Valley television game, ABC Television, from the television series created by Roberta Leigh. Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land. Okay, so that is the front cover of the box, or the front of the box. Let's just lift the box up and let's see what we got printed on the bottom. Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land, and it's item number G154. If I turn the box around to the side, Torchys Race game again. And if I turn the box up to the top again, Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land, G154 again, and the other side, yeah, it's exactly the same Torchys Race game. You'll note that Torchys is spelt out in different colour tokens, and that will all be explained once we get inside the box. If I just look at the back, like all these boxes at the time, there was nothing printed on the back, so it was they were just plain cardboard on the back. Obviously kept the cost down. Okay, let's open the box up and let's have a look at the contents. Okay, so I've removed the contents from the box and I've laid them all down. So you've got your 4 characters. You've got red, green, yellow and blue there, all with images of Torchy. If you can see that, Torchy on the front side. The back side is just plain card. So you've got blue, and they're all on these metal stands. So on later games they become plastic, but these early games had the metal stands. So you've got the 4 of them. You've got the spaceship there. Now you've got Torchy words, individual pieces of card, like it showed you on the front of the box, and they all spell out Torchy. So each player gets one of these, and you've got to spell the word Torchy as you go around. No dice in this. You've got a spinner. And that just spins around and you move accordingly. And of course you follow the instructions on the board. Okay, now the game rules are printed on the top of the lid. So if you can just see the lid there, up there. I'll just zoom in a little bit so we can read this. So it says, Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land, how to play. 2, 3 or 4 people can play this game. First, separate all the items and also the 4 Torchy figures. Place the 4 Torchys into the metal clips provided. This will make them upright, and this will make them stand upright. Make sure the rocket is standing ready for takeoff in the garden. This should also be placed in a metal clip. So we've done all of that. Each player takes 6 letters of the same colour and a Torchy figure to match. The idea of the game is to move your figure around the board, starting from the garden, spelling Torch's name as you go, and finishing with a rocket flight to Topsy-Turvy Land. Each player in turn spins the arrow on the toadstool and moves along the squares according to the numbers spun in the direction shown by the small black arrows. When a player lands on a square containing Torchy or any of the other characters in the story, he takes his letter T and places it on the square. If Torchy has his light switched on, the player may then move up the light beam onto the yellow square at the end of it. Okay, so when he's got his light beam on, like in this one here, if you put your letter down, you can then move up. When he lands on the next square containing one of the Torch's characters, he puts down his letter O, continuing in this way until he reaches the letter Y, which he must place on the square in the top left-hand corner of the board. So that's your last letter has to go there. Before he can place his Y, he must spin the exact number needed to land on the Y square. When he has done this, he moves straight down the left side of the board in the direction of the long blue arrows until he reaches the garden again, where he leaves his Torchy and climbs into the rocket. He then moves up the rocket track according to the number he spins until he reaches Topsy-Turvy Land. The first player to do this wins the game. So once you get here, you then come back down here and go into the garden. If a player lands on a square marked your rocket has misfired, he must return to the garden and wait until it is his turn to move again. If in the meantime a second player has reached the garden, this player has a turn with the rocket and becomes the winner if he reaches Topsy-Turvy Land without mishap. He must spin the exact number to finish. Interesting. Although the general direction of the play is to and fro across the board, when a player lands on a toadstool, he moves 1 or 2 squares up or down, depending on whether the toadstool is the right way up or not. A player may not put a letter on a character already occupied by another player, using the same letter. For instance, if a player has a T on the Torchy in the bottom right-hand corner, the next player may not put his T on it, but if he has already placed his T elsewhere, he may put his O on the same square as his opponent's T. Okay. A player must put his letters down in the correct order. He may not place his O before his T, nor his R before his O, etc. If a player reaches the Y square before he has placed his other letters, he must spin the right number to land on the toadstool in the square before the Y square. He then moves 1 square down and proceeds around the top 2 rows of squares until he has placed his last letter. There we are. Well, that's quite a simple game. I mean, the board games were quite simple back in the 50s and 60s. So it's quite a basic game to follow. I suppose it was for children, so it had to be quite simple to follow. And it obviously teaches them to spell as well, with the word Torchy. So, yeah, I'm quite impressed with this game, actually, for a 1960s game. It's done very well. But then Chad Valley, that's what their specialty was producing games and toys for children. So, there we are. So, back in 1960, how well did this do? Well, Torchy was, for the first season, it was quite a big television show. It had quite a big following, and as a result, the second season was produced. So the second season aired between 60 and 61. So it was a big show for the children. So yeah, and as a result, obviously, board games, books, the old books. I don't think there was any annuals produced, or there was like an annual style book. There was a couple of those produced for Torchy, but I don't think there was a proper annual produced like we know the annuals to be. But anyway, back in the day, that was quite a lot of merchandise, really, for a children's TV program. So, but yeah, I'm guessing that this game, because of the popularity of the TV show back in the day, it would have been very popular, and I'm sure the game would have sold out. Sadly, though, these games, because they're all just made of cardboard, they weren't really made to last the test of time, and certainly not lasting 65 years, which is where we are today. So let's move forward to today's date, 2025. Do these games come up very often on the platforms? And I can tell you straight, no, they don't. I did search the platforms. I couldn't find any of these games anywhere on the platforms. No, tell a lie, I did find one, but it was missing quite a few of the pieces. I think the spinner had been replaced with a dice as well, and a lot of the Torchy letters were missing, and I think one of the characters was missing. So it was only a part complete game, but again, for a 1960s board game, it is, yeah, you know, you got to expect to find things like that. You know, after 65 years, things will get lost or damaged. So, you know, there we are. As these were only made of card, they certainly wasn't made to last the test of time. However, this particular game we have here, now this was part of a collection that we bought of off of a gentleman who was very much into the early Anderson shows. So we also bought one of the other games, the Fourth of the Falls. We also have that one as well in stock, and we bought this one from him as well, which I think he said he's had for something like 40 or 50 years. So obviously he didn't have it from new, but he's obviously bought it from somebody else, and he collected quite a lot of early Anderson merchandise that we did manage to buy quite a bit of it off him when he was retiring and moving abroad. So we were fortunate to buy quite a lot of that merchandise from him, and we are now making it available to our customers on the Midas Touch website. Now, to get to the Midas Touch website, it's very simple. All you've got to do is click the link below, and it will take you straight there, where you'll be able to find this game and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website, and there will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you will not want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old that you haven't been able to find, something quirky that you like to buy for a friend, or maybe it's just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. And for this particular item, I wouldn't hang around, because we've only got the one copy of it, and it is in absolutely fantastic condition for its age. So there we are. Anyway, that's it for me. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful vintage Torchys Race to Topsy-Turvy Land board game with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.